my name is Coyle. I play for Hibernian. I am a center striker, and I'm from United States of America, Montana originally. I started playing football at a really young age. I think when I was as young as 5 years old. Loved the game, grew up knowing I wanted to play collegiate football in the States, and so I made my way to University of Montana, played Division I soccer there for 4 years, and then just this May decided I was ready to start my professional career, and then I signed with Hibernian, and I've been here since July, and I've loved it.
So I've been involved with Hibs Women, the academy, for probably about going on 5-6 years. Started with under 15s girls, worked my way up to the under 23s with our head coach Dean, and then when Dean got offered the job in January 2020, he invited me along to join his coaching staff as well. So I've been involved in the women's setup since then. Since we got involved, it's always been professional, but I think we've taken up like the next step, got a more professional, more resources, more support for the players.
I think across the entire world, the women's game is really on the rise, which is incredible to see. In the United States, it's very developed in collegiate athletics, and professionally it is a very strong league as well, but a fairly new league, which I know the women's league is fairly new and comparatively to the men's league, but it's really been great to be a part of here. I feel like this year particularly there's been a lot of steps in a great direction for the growth of the women's game, including playing in Easter Road and some of these big stadiums. So that's been amazing to be a part of, and for me, being a part of a culture that's very invested in football has been really special, where in the States, less of the women's professional teams are funded by a men's club as well, but that also makes it unique and different and growing the game in a different way, where a lot of these clubs are funded on their own. So really overall, in both America and here, it's just seen a lot of growth, which is great to see.
So we're currently sitting in 4th place. We would like to be doing better. We have a target in our head that we're working towards, and we're working behind the scenes to make sure that we get there. As I said, we could always do better. We'd like to do better. But having said that, we're not having a bad season, but we'd always like to improve and get higher in the league than we currently are. One success in particular is we played to a record-breaking crowd at Easter Road against our rivals Hearts. So I think we had about 5,500, maybe 6,500 there. So that was certainly a success. We won in front of our home crowd, which was brilliant. In the reverse fixture, we played at Tynecastle, which was again successful in terms of the result, and another great crowd of maybe about 3,000, which we managed to win. So that's definitely a success. We've also managed to put in some impressive results. We got to the quarter-final Scottish, albeit we'd like to go further than that, but I think we've managed to put away some very good results. So yeah, we did have GPS before, but we'd had the same units for maybe, since I'd been in and before, the same units had been used for a fair few years now, and it probably could do with an update. I'm a firm believer that units or technology like GPS is there to support training and matches, not drive it. So we're looking for something that was a bit more up to date, a bit easier to use, and it was PlayerData that we came across, and right from the get-go it seemed to be the most simplest, but giving us the great information that we need to go forward. The biggest thing for me is we're able to get the data to the players a lot quicker. We've got some players in the team who are really interested in the data that it shows, so I'm easy enough. I just, straight after a session, I sync the pods, and they're synced within 5-10 minutes, if that. Whereas before it was a bit of a process in terms of linking up to a laptop and stuff, whereas now it's simply linking up to my phone and good to go. In terms of actually using the data as well, it's as easy as switching the pods on, setting up a session, and it's good to go. The players can just pop them in. And said that as well, the stats that it gives you, so the key parameters that are provided by PlayerData are the ones we're after. We don't want the hundreds of thousands that are churned out by other pods that are maybe not of use to us. We get the ones that we want and that we can use to help us plan and deliver sessions.
I mean, it's huge. I think it's vital, especially with how long seasons are at the professional level, it's crucial to use the data for, knowing how much load that can be put on the players during training for recovery, and also just to get an idea of how much kind of wear is put on the body during games. And I think that's the beauty of technology and the evolving of it in sport, is it provides a huge advantage to teams if you use it in the ways you can for an advantage. So it's huge, and especially as a player, being able to see the data, the amount I've run, or the load, the different metrics it shows, is really important for my personal recovery as well. So it's huge. I love how easy the app is, where you can get on your phone, see all your data right there. It's super easy to use, and the vests and the technology is just really easy and seamless. So it's been great.
We're a firm believer we're like a high intensity team. We like attacking, so the number of sprints, sprint distance covered, the high intensity runs, stuff like that. Yeah, we do like the distance covered, but something that I've really enjoyed seeing through the data is the percentage in which the players travel at. So for example, they might walk a game at 50%, and that the player data will give us that. They might sprint 10% in the game, so we're able to look at the data it gives us, and it paints a really good picture of a physical performance of a player. Also the playback feature, really interesting, where it gives us an actual setup of the entire team throughout the match, and follows them about the pitch. At any given moment I can play back and see player positioning and show that to the head coach, and we can influence anything that might come up in team meetings and stuff like that.
Me, especially as a forward, I run a lot. Kind of getting the ball in behind and looking to stretch the back line is a big part of my game. So a lot of high intensity sprinting, and our strength and conditioning coach definitely implements that into our trainings to maintain our speed. And so yeah, it's huge to be able to look at the data and see how much load you are enduring, because sometimes it doesn't even feel like you're enduring as much as you are, and recovery is a massive aspect. So to be able to gain that data and know, okay, had this much high intensity running, this many sprints, it can help cater training going forward, as from a team perspective with our strength and conditioning coach, but also on a personal level for any training outside of the team training.
Yeah, it's fitted in easily. There's been no issues whatsoever. Girls use it. They're always asking me, when's my data going on? Can I see it? Stuff like that. So yeah, they're very interested in it.
I think it really adds to the professional culture, and I think once we're using this technology and implementing that, it does bring a different sense and feeling to the environment, because that is a professional step, and that's really taking the next step of utilizing the technology and being a professional club. So I know that since we've been using PlayerData, there's definitely been that feeling of professionalism amongst our team and in the club, because we're utilizing the data for some of those things I mentioned, which all the top clubs in the world do. So
obviously, working in women's football and being a sports scientist, I'm very interested in research, but there's not a lot of research out there in terms of women's football. It's getting there, but with data like GPS, everything else coming with it, we're going to really build a good amount of research into women's football that would hopefully increase performances, reduce the chance of injury and stuff like that, and create a bigger picture in terms of what us as sports scientists and coaches can use to create and drive the game.
I mean, it really is super special, and I'm really grateful to be a part of the women's game during this time, because I think it's making astronomical growing steps, and it's really amazing to be a part of. And our game against Hearts in September versus in Easter Road was a monumental moment, and then you've seen that from multiple clubs following, playing in their men's stadiums, and clubs are continuing in this league to be funded by their men's teams, and you're seeing that in England and across the world. So it's really great to see, and I feel, like I said, grateful to be a part of it.